welcome to my channel. I am Zodiac Bandit, and today we have some spoilers, kind of, because we're kind of talking about some behind the scenes stuff, but it relates to the actual game. So, some spoilers for Critical Role Campaign 3. Spoilers for up to episode 89, potentially even 90, even though 90 is not out yet. So, spoilers. So, the spoiler warning out of the way, I guess we can talk about today's video, which is the table going to split, much like they did in episode 52 onward after the whole attack of the Malleus Key and the dig site situation? So, for those of you who don't know and are, for whatever reason, watching late in the campaign without watching stuff prior, the party is splitting as of episode 90, which will be the next one, and they're going to do two separate missions for the Volition. One is going to be a demolitions mission, and the other is going to be a rescue or gathering intel mission. And they're splitting. There are going to be two groups, like I mentioned before. One is made up of Fern, FCG, and Ashen. The other is Imogen, Laudna, Orm, and Chetney. And they're, like I said, separating. And the last time there was a group separation like this, the party / entire table and cast split. Half of the table wasn't there for some of the sessions. And some people are believing that this is going to happen again with this new split that's happening in the current sort of episodes right now. And I don't know where this idea has come from, but I kind of want to go over the possibility of this happening and potentially things that get in the way of this happening, because I very much enjoy this kind of conversation because it's interesting. I've seen a bunch of people talking about it. So first, I think I'm going to start off with why people are thinking this is going to happen. Because the last time a split happened, this same thing happened, and a lot of people really liked it. A lot of people liked the fact that the party was separated, they couldn't communicate with each other, and a bunch of guests came in to fill in the void that would have been a very empty table for the group of three, because there would have been two people up top, one person down below, and then, some guests fill in that spot, which was nice. It was nice so that no one was alone by themselves. And then for the other side, the same thing happened. They, instead of getting 3 guests, they got 2 guests. So there was a total of 5 guests introduced during this time, and they were some of the best guests we've ever had. And frankly, this happening again on the moon of Ruidus is really interesting because it opens up the possibility of Ryloran guests and potentially like really interesting Exandrian guests who got sort of trapped up in the moon somehow. They went up and they defected from the Ruby Vanguard, or in various other ways, like they stormed through as a part of a champion of a god. So there's a bunch of opportunities here for interesting and cool guests. So this is one of the many reasons I think people want this sort of split to happen, the table split, because they want to see interesting guests. And the last time this happened, there was a ton of tension in the air of, are they going to die? Are they going to get back together? Is the group going to be changed? Are they going to be changed physically, mentally? All sort of things. This was a very tense set of episodes the last time they had a party split like this. And for it to happen again would be really cool. That is a lot of people, in my opinion, from what I've been reading, a lot of people's favorite section of the story so far, because it was tense. It was difficult for half the group, and the other half had a hard time as well, but it was difficult. There was risks of death and just a new experience for the table to be split like this. And a lot of people harken back to Campaign 1 when they did the whole Slayer's Take episode, or episodes, where the party was split there and guests came in there again. A lot of people harken back to those days and they're nostalgic for it. One of the reasons the party split happened last time was because some members of the cast decided to go on vacation. So they did a party split like this so those people could go on vacation, and then once they came back, the other ones were allowed to do the same thing and all have vacation. And it was roughly around the same time last year. March through May was this time frame, and that's where we are currently. We're in April, which means next month is May. So if they wanted to do another vacation like split like this, that's the time. This is the yearly vacation time they can all take outside of holidays, which technically it would be a holiday because last weekend was Easter, but that I digress. It is perfect timing for them to do another table split like this if this is going to be an annual thing for them, where they do a table split. It would make it a little bit predictable if they start doing this more and more often, but it's once a year. Who really cares that much? But I do think it's kind of interesting and cool, because if that is the case, we can predict later on in the future time for the yearly split to happen, and it's time for some yearly guests to show up, which would be really cool. And I think that is part of the reason why a lot of people think that it's going to happen again right now. And then Critical Role themselves sort of put some fuel on the fire with this one, and that is this picture here. So this picture you're seeing right now is the weekly schedule picture that they chose to, indicate what the weekly schedule would be like. And in this one, it depicts Ashley, Talzin, and Sam are sitting on one side of the table, and it would imply that everyone else is either on the other side or not there. This is not the usual seating arrangement. This is a seating arrangement more so befitting of the two separate teams going off and splitting. So for a lot of people, this has added fuel to the fire that they are doing a table split, that the other half of the table is not going to be there, and they might not even get guests this time. It'll just be those three. So that's kind of interesting and has added a bit of fuel to the fire as well to everything going on. However, Matt might have just moved them to the opposite side, so it's easier to track who's where. So you got to keep that up in the air too as well. Like this probably isn't a sign of anything other than they just wanted to make it easier for Matt. I do think that this picture and a lot of people in the comments of this video, or not this video, in this picture, are suggesting that this proves that they're doing a table split, when realistically I think that's just a big reach, and they've just either picked it for promotional purposes, or they've just decided to move some people around on the table to make it easier to keep track of. So now that we've gone over why people think that this sort of party split, table split thing is happening, I kind of want to talk about a few things that sort of get in the way of it, that sort of stop this idea from being something that I can fully get behind personally. There's a handful of things that have sort of happened within the storytelling and sort of the players doing things that are telling me this might not be the case. So the first thing that sort of gets in the way of me believing that they're going to do another table split like they did last time is telepathic bond. FCG cast telepathic bond on the party before they split up truly, which gives them 1 hour of unlimited range connection within their minds to each other so they can communicate silently with each other. This is a problem for the idea of splitting the party, because now when one person, say FCG, tries to reach out to Imogen within their minds, Matt would have to answer for Laura, and I don't think that's something he wants to do. So realistically, I think they're probably better off to not have a party split while telepathic bond is up. But this connects to the other issue that sort of, is standing in the way of doing a party split or a table split. And that is, the last time they did it, Matt established the rule that you can't use sending to communicate with people anymore. And we know on Ruidus, sending works to other people on Ruidus. It can't break itself off to Exandria, but it works to people within Ruidus, which does generally create a problem here. Because now, if they were to split the table and then Imogen were to cast, a message or sending to Fern, Matt would have to answer. And then, not only would he have to for both things, he would have to answer for them if they were to split, he would also have to figure out when exactly that message gets sent within the game for the other people. And if one game hasn't happened yet, he has no idea where they're going to be. So realistically, it creates a massive problem for Matt to try to figure out logistically how that character would answer when he doesn't know what scenario they are in and when they get the message as well. So it's just going to be way easier with sending and telepathic bond for the table to not be split. And I know that's going to be a little unfortunate for a lot of people because they want to see some guests come in. I still think a guest could come in and sort of join the demolition party, but it's not going to be to the same extent as the last time a party split happened. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think they are going to eventually, when the telepathic bond wears off, split the party or the table? Do you think that this is going to be something that's even possible? Especially because I mentioned sending is available to them now. So yeah, let me know what you think. Do you think there's going to be a guest who shows up? Do you think they're going to be Ry Lauren? Do you think they're going to be Exandrian? Let me know. With that, I will see you guys on Friday for the recap of episode 90. We're 10 away from 100, guys. I think that's wild. So yeah, I'll see you guys then. Peace.